Belgium brought rain, chaos, and safety cars. And somehow, Piastri still dominated the entire weekend. McLaren is still backing Lando's as their golden boy. But Oscar keeps shutting everyone up again and again. So, what exactly did Norris mess up this time? Let me break it down for you. And let's go with the headlines. Norris started on pole and ended up frustrated. Hamilton, driver of the day. Leclerc held off Verstappen, and Verstappen had no option. My dear F1 lovers, the Belgian Grand Prix is history. So let's dive into the full lap-by-lap recap. And let's go! The track is 4.3 miles long for 44 laps for a total race distance of 191 miles. Remember, there are 2 DRS zones for overtakes and 19 corners, 9 right-handers and 10 left-handers. Let's take a look at the starting grid. Starting from the pit lane, we had 4 drivers: Alonso, Antonelli, Hamilton, Sainz. From there on, we had Stroll, Colapinto, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Berman, Ocon, Bortoleto, Lawson, Hadjar, Tsunoda, Russell, Albon, Verstappen, Leclerc, and Piastri, Norris. Every single one of the drivers decided to go with Inters. You know what that means, right? It means we had rain. Not just any rain, we had heavy rain in several sectors. As any Formula 1 race, we have a formation lap, but this one was behind the safety car. And guess what? Red flags immediately right after that formation lap. The starting grid procedure was suspended. An hour later, a safety car gets deployed just to test the track conditions, and race control decides to start the race behind the safety car. The race starts in this case from the pit lane, and we see a lot of heavy spray. Piastri says that conditions are much better than earlier, but Eau Rouge and the main straight are still bad. In lap number 2, we hear all sorts of radios between each one of the drivers and their respective race engineer. Lap number 4, the safety car is about to leave the track. Lando Norris starts creating space. He wants to control the rolling start, but Piastri puts some pressure on him. He's showing his nose to Lando. Lap 5, rolling start. And now we're racing. We have a clean turn 1. However, Norris loses traction. Piastri takes the overtake over Lando right before Rouge. And just like that, Oscar is the new race lead. Right after that, we hear Lando Norris saying, "Why do I have my pack?" Lap number 6, we hear Lando's race engineer saying that Norris's battery will recover. Why? Because he used too much battery during the safety car. In the same lap, Russell is coming after Albon, and guess what? He overtakes him, and now Russell is P5. Verstappen is getting close to Leclerc. He's putting on pressure on him. By lap number 7, we see that Norris has recovered. He's in Oscar's mirrors now. We also notice that Verstappen is still behind Leclerc, just about half a second behind him. As we can see on sector number 2, Max seems to have a really good pace in there. Why, you might be wondering? Because he's running on a higher downforce setup. But when we go into the straights, Leclerc just goes away. Lap number 8, we see how Hamilton goes over Sainz. And yes, he takes Sainz's position. Now he's P16. Just right after that, Hamilton goes chasing Colapinto and he moves up to P15. The 7-time world champion is just on fire. How far is he gonna get? Lap number 9, what a battle we're seeing for P16. We have Colapinto, Sainz and Antonelli all fighting for P16. Hamilton now, guess what? He just overtook Nico Hülkenberg. Lewis is just flying on track. He's P14 and now he's gonna hunt for Gasly. Hamilton towards the end of sector number 2, just like that, overtakes Gasly, and now he's P13. His next target, Oliver Berman, who's 3 seconds ahead. Lap 10, Piastri hints over the radio that it might be time for slicks. The question we have right now is who's gonna risk it all? Who's gonna choose the right compound at the right time? If somebody put them on too early, they're lost. In the other hand, Verstappen is still stuck behind Leclerc. Lap 11, Charles Leclerc just runs wide, just right on the hairpin. Verstappen saw the opportunity and took it. However, Leclerc recovers super fast. Lap number 12, pay attention to this one. Hamilton is the first one to take the risk. He goes to the pits to get the slick compound. But not only Hamilton, we also have Gasly, Hülkenberg, and Alonso. They all go for the medium compound, the C3. Of course, the rest of the teams are keeping an eye on Hamilton's time. And just a lap after, lap 13, Piastri decides to pit. He pits for mediums. Then Leclerc, then Verstappen, everyone starts diving in. Only Norris, Tsunoda, Hadjar, and Ocon decided to stay out. And right on that lap, DRS is now enabled. Lap 14, Norris pits for hards. You heard that right. He goes for the C1 compound. What's the goal of that? to go for a 1 pit stop. Of course, Tsunoda, Hadjar and Ocon also pit. After everybody pitted, Lewis Hamilton now is in P7. By the way, Norris' pit stop was not the best. Mechanics had a hard time with the front left. Lap 15, Hamilton sets a fast lap. Russell is within DRS range and he's gonna try to go for Verstappen. In the other hand, Verstappen is vulnerable. He has no DRS at this point. Leclerc is too far away from him. As we can see the chart on the screen, Hamilton has gained 11 positions. Lap 17. I'm checking the times between Norris and Piastri, and Norris is supposed to go slower. Why? Because he has a slower tire. However, we can see that they both have about the same lap times. And Piastri has the C3, which is a lot faster. Lap 18. I have to recall what I just said. Norris sets the fastest lap, and he was almost 3/10 faster than Piastri. This is gonna get crazy towards the end. Lap 20, we hear team orders. Hülkenberg has to let Bortoleto through, and like any good team player, he just lets him. In that same lap, we see how Antonelli overtakes Colapinto, and he's now P15. Lap 21. Piastri is asked if he can finish the race with this compound. Piastri responds that the car is saggy and is going to be difficult. Lap 22, Stroll overtakes Colapinto. Now he's P16. Lap 23, the race has stabilized at this point. All the top drivers at this point, they have a big gap between one another. Between Norris and Leclerc, there are 7 seconds, 2 seconds between Leclerc and Verstappen, and 3 seconds between Verstappen and Russell. No real action at the top. It seems like everyone is managing their tires. And it makes sense because most of them have the C3 compound, except Norris, who right now he can go as hard as he can. However, something happened at the end of lap 26, because Norris was closer to Piastri, about 8 seconds low. And when he started lap 27, he started on 9-second highs. What exactly happening here? I'll tell you in a bit. Lap 27, we see Antonelli, the youngest of the youngs, overtaking Alonso, the oldest of the old-timers. Lap 31, Hamilton is closing on Alexander Albon. He is within DRS. And right on this lap, we see what happened with Norris a few laps ago. On sector 2, on Pujon corner, he comes off track. He loses control. He locked his tires, he goes straight, and he comes back on track. Nothing big happened, but that's why he lost time. Lap 33. Piastri is told that the degradation they are seeing is normal. It's exactly what they were expecting. And the best of his compound is yet about to come. That means that maybe the temperature will continue to drop. Which means that Norris with the C1 compound is gonna suffer, and Piastri should go faster. Lap 35. We're seeing that Russell's pace has dropped, and if Hamilton is able to overtake Albon, he's not gonna hesitate to go for Russell. In the same lap 35, he's told that he needs to focus, that he doesn't need to push too hard on the corners. He's told that he's naturally fast. As I mentioned earlier, the track temperature is dropping, and with the C1 compound, Norris is gonna be in big trouble towards the end. Lap 38, Leclerc locks up, and Verstappen is just right behind him, but not as close as he would like to. Lap 39, 6 laps to go, and Norris is 5 seconds behind Piastri, and the track temperature continues to drop. Listen to this. On lap 40, Hadjar is told that there are rain spots around the track. Lap 42, Piastri is told that there might be rain in turn 1, just 2 laps to go. Are we gonna have heavy rain? Final lap, lap 44. Piastri finishes strong with 5 seconds ahead of Norris. And just like that, Piastri wins the Belgium Grand Prix. And now what we learned about the Belgium Grand Prix? There are changes in the Drivers' Championship. Let's go with the race results first. We'll check the Drivers' Championship, and then we'll go with the learnings. Why and how Piastri dominated the weekend. For race results, we have the podium taken by Piastri, Norris, Leclerc, followed by Verstappen, Russell, Albon, Hamilton, Lawson, Bortoleto, Gasly. Then we have Berman, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Stroll, Ocon, Antonelli, Alonso, Sainz, Colapinto, and Hadjar. As for the Drivers' Championship, Lawson gained 2 positions. Now he's P14 in the championship. Yeah, today he scored 4 points. That means that Sainz and Alonso drop a place. We also saw that Gasly fighting for P10, enough to move up to P12. But the important part is the gap distance between Piastri and Norris, which I'll tell you in a bit when I talk about them. Okay, let's talk about the people who got to the podium. Let's start with the driver of the day. No doubt, Lewis Hamilton. He gained 11 positions. He started P18 and he ended up on P7. From the beginning of the race, he sliced through the field like only he can. Looks like he was going to fight Russell for P5, but first he had to clear Albon. But Albon turned out to be an impressive wall. We cannot underestimate Albon, his talent, and his vehicle. The 2025 Williams car is pretty good. Now, I know this driver didn't make it to the podium, but we have to talk about Verstappen. Verstappen today had no pace. He finished P4 with no real chance to fight for anything else. He had a high downforce setup, which limited him. If they would have raced when there was rain, he might have flown, but they were not allowed to race in the wet. Let's talk about Leclerc. It's a well-deserved podium for him. He kept Verstappen far away, as far as he could, despite the mistakes that he made. Verstappen barely overtook him for a few seconds, but Leclerc regained the position back. Another strong result for Ferrari. Let's talk about Norris. He made two big mistakes. Once again, he ends this weekend really frustrated. He started from pole in the wet. He was supposed to have a clear track with no spray, but he lost the pole right away. He made strategic and execution errors. He burned out too much battery and a few on-track mistakes. And that's the Lando we know under pressure. Let's talk about Oscar Piastri. Amazing clean victory for him. From lap 1, he snatched the lead from Norris and never looked back. A flawless weekend for Piastri. That is his 6th win. This guy clearly wants to be world champion. Before Belgium, he came with an 8-point gap with Norris. And now he leaves Belgium with 16-point gap. 8 more points ahead. No mistakes, clean driving, total control. He's making a statement. And yes, 1-2 for McLaren. Just like we predicted in the preview and predictions video. I said Norris is gonna take pole position because he's really fast, but I predicted that Piastri was gonna take the victory just because he makes less mistakes. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. I really read every single comment you guys post. Anyways, I think it's time to go, and I'll see you on the preview and predictions for Hungary. My name is Orlando, and I'll see you on the next one.